Welcome everyone to the No Good Podcast. Today we are joined by MMA fighter that can kick ass. He's currently ranked third in the heavyweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, Curtis "Razor" Blaydes. First of all, Curtis, how are you doing during the pandemic right now with everything that's going on?
I'm good. I'm a homebody, so like all the restrictions and everything hasn't really affected me or my mind or whatever. I'm chilling.
Okay. I appreciate that. Listen, I'm just getting into the MMA game myself. I'm very, very new compared to these other guys. My other co-hosts are more experienced. But I just want to ask you, like, what made you decide to become a fighter? Like, what was that moment for you?
Was really just the opportunity to make money. There's not a whole lot of jobs where you can earn this much at the age I got in the UFC at 25. You're not gonna make 20 grand in 2 months at that age. A lot of jobs, so that's really what it was. And I mean, obviously, I have grown. The love has grown. I really enjoy the mental aspects of it, like how it applies to life, getting over adversity, training. I do enjoy all that, but originally it was just the money.
I respect that.
Yeah, definitely being an athlete, you would be loving that aspect of it and being training all the time. I wanted to ask you, what is the origin of your nickname Razor?
Everyone asks that and they expect like a cool backstory, but it's really not there. Me and my manager I had originally when I was an amateur, like he snatched me up when I was an amateur, and it was just a brainstorming. We both were like, you gotta have a name, you gotta have like a stick or whatever, and it just rolled off the tongue. Like obviously my last name is Blaydes. A lot of people ask me if that's actually my last name, but it is. Like that's not fake. But the razor, it just goes well, you know. Razor Blaydes.
That's for sure.
I was blessed with an easy one, you know.
Yeah, mine might have been Brick Wall. Someone actually called me that when I went out for a kickboxing fight, but I didn't like it. But at the same time, you know, I think yours rolls off tongue a little bit better, you know, because to me it just sounds like I'm like a punching bag. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you, it actually sounds like you could hurt somebody.
You'd be like a brick wall, like that dude's immovable. He's a brick wall.
There you go. There you go. I like that. Hey, if you rate it, then I'm happy with it. But Curtis, I want to talk about something, I guess probably a little bit more tough for you, but I think a lot of people are just generally like baffled, you know, good or bad, about the resiliency of fighters. And obviously you're coming off a difficult loss. So I'm just wondering, like, what was like the first kind of emotion that went over you when you took that loss to Derek Lewis?
Obviously, you know, you wake up and you're like, fuck, I lost. And it's sad because you put the work in, you put the time in. I felt like if I don't eat that one clean strike like I did, I feel like I'm the better striker. I'm obviously the better wrestler. I feel like I would have won. But, you know, I don't like to live in the past. I got over it the next day. You know, it just, especially heavyweight, it's the margin of error is really, really thin. And, you know, one uppercut in a different weight class doesn't always put a guy away, but heavyweight, especially a guy with that type of power. I knew the threat. I knew the danger. I've rewatched the fight with my coaches 2 or 3 times now, and we've analyzed it. I figured out what I did wrong. I didn't get off the line when I was doing my high-lows to get ready to shoot. I was like right in front of them, and optimally, you'd like to get an angle before you do that, just to prevent what happened to me, the uppercut. Had I gotten an angle before going in, the uppercut goes right past my head. But I know what I did wrong and working on it.
It's all, you know, it's always like those little things, especially like you said at heavyweight, where like it's the one thing. But it's good to hear that you're in good spirits, man. Obviously, like, you know, it's a big moment for anybody like that. And it's always tough to come back from that. I know for sure that a lot of fighters talk about dealing with that sort of sort of doubt and everything like that. But it's good to hear you're in good spirits and you're taking the lessons learned from it all.
Yeah. If you don't learn a lesson, then it really is just a loss. And I don't like to. If I'm gonna lose, I gotta get something positive out of it, because then that's what helps me get over it. Because I'm like, okay, I learned. That won't happen again.
Yeah, it's always good to have that learning aspect. I wanted to ask you now, with the heavyweight picture, Francis is champion. There's Derek Lewis in the mix, right? Both these people you have faced before. Now there's Jon Jones in the picture as well too. Who do you see yourself fighting next?
They're probably gonna give me Jorginho, because he's off a loss. I'm off a loss, and he's hot five. John's not gonna fight me right now. It's not because he's scared. I'm not worth it. He's not going to get the money. If he's going to do it, because heavyweight, like what just happened to me, that could happen to John. And he is going to be a small heavyweight. So if he's going to bump up, he's going to maximize this opportunity, because who knows, this might be the first and only, or depending on how it goes, we'll see. But he's going to get the money. And I understand the reality. I'm not the money, and Ngannou's the money. So, yeah.
Speaking of Ngannou, were you impressed by his takedown defense in the Stipe fight?
I was. That was improvement. That was the first time I've seen him legitimately sprawl. So it was a good sprawl.
Do you think if you went into that fight back with him now, do you think he would be giving you a lot more trouble in that sense?
No, because the style I wrestle with versus the style Stipe wrestles, we're both good wrestlers, but a lot of people just see, oh, he wrestles. It's like strikers. There's different styles. And the double leg I do is so explosive. It's very taxing. That's why a lot of heavyweights don't do it, but you'll see it a lot with the lightweights, the welterweights. It's a blast power, like just a double leg. But a lot of heavyweights don't want to do it, because if you don't get it, it's a lot of energy you just spent for nothing. I don't have that issue. I'll do it over and over. Like, it did kind of backfire in the Volkov fight, but he's a special problem because of his height and the way he's able to wrap you up when you get in his guards. He's his own specific issue. But besides that, my double leg is very effective. And if you stop the first one, that doesn't mean you're going to stop the next one. And even if you do, Junior Dos Santos did it. He stopped 5 or maybe even 8 of mine in the first round, but I shot 8 times. And I was planning on doing that the next round, but I was able to find a knockout on the feet. But the way I wrestle versus the way Stipe wrestles, we're different. And I'm more tenacious with the wrestling, because I understand the wrestling is like, it's not just like the cream on the top. It's the part of it's the potatoes to the steak. Like, you got to have it. Like the fries with the burger, you got to have it. with Stipe, the wrestling is more like candy, a bag of candy. Like, you don't have to have it. It's nice if you have it, but you don't have to. He doesn't rely on his wrestling the way I do. So I just approach it differently, and I believe that's the difference. I'm more aggressive with the wrestling.
Do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think that.
Sorry, Coop. I was just gonna ask, like, do you think, like, because you were saying like it's taxing the way you wrestle and everything. I think obviously most heavyweights are pretty, like, they don't have the best cardio. I mean, compared to other weight classes, which is fine. But is there, like, can you explain, like, is there like a reason why? Like, is there something that you do specifically, like, not to give away all your secrets? But
no, my body's just conditioned. I've been doing the double leg I do that you guys watch me do in the octagon. I've been doing that since I was 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
I started doing that in high school. That's how I ended up winning. That's one of the reasons I developed the double leg, was early on in high school. I realized a lot of heavyweights aren't doing it. I'm like, why not? Because I can do it, but apparently they just weren't conditioned to do it. I built up that condition over years and years. I had some collegiate wrestling matches where guys at that level, they know how to stall. I would shoot 20 times in a match. Now, mind you, college wrestling matches are first rounds 3 minutes. Second round's 2 minutes. Third round's 2 minutes. That's less than 8 minutes, and I'm pulling off 20 takedown attempts, getting like half of them. I used to take down guys a lot. That was like my game plans. My body's just, that's what I do. I shoot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a really unique game, I think, in the heavyweight division too. I think that's why I think you give a lot of people lots of problems. But let's talk about like more fun stuff, I guess, here. You're a pretty big gamer. What are your thoughts? And listen, Curtis, you can be honest, all right? What are your thoughts on the UFC video games in the past?
Oh, I've only played like the newer ones maybe a handful of times. I'm honest, I'm not good at it because I haven't put the time into it. And I don't like to lose, especially not video games. Like that gets me. And I never figured out how to shoot. So I use my own character. And I remember I was doing a meet and greet, and they had the game. They had it set up where you could play it with the people who want to autograph and stuff. And I'm playing this kid. He's like 14, 15, and he has Tai Tuivasa, and he knocks me out. And I'm like, that it fucked me up. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to play this. So I don't play it.
I feel like
it's weird to watch an avatar of yourself get KO'd. It's not good.
Yes, specifically, like especially being in the fighting game and everything. I'm sure you want to keep your mind off of that when you're playing games, right?
Yeah, you don't want that in the air. That's bad.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite video game that you're playing like right now or anything? Madden? Oh yeah, Madden. I know that. I can't stop playing Madden. I mean, like, I think they got to improve the game. Let's be real. But like, I can't.
I'm happy. I'm right now. I'm 12 years into a franchise mode with the Broncos.
Nice.
I got a couple MVPs, a couple Super Bowl appearances. I don't always win though. That's what I like about it. It still challenges me because I don't always win. So I like that.
For sure. So you're a franchise mode guy. You're not like an ultimate team guy or whatever.
No, I never got into that.
Same. No, I don't. I think it's a money grab, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm not. I just got into fantasy this year or this past year because I never wanted to get into it because I never wanted to like root against my team or specific players. So I was that goes against like I don't want to be. I'm a Bears fan. I don't want to be watching the Bears play the Seahawks, but I have Russell Wilson on my fantasy team. I'm like, oh, I need him to get 4 touchdowns. Like, no, I don't want to root for that. Hell no. But I got into it this year and I liked it. So I think I was able to like remove that. Like I watch the games, and if I win, I win. I'm not overly invested, but I do like playing it.
Yeah, I think Allen Robinson may or may not be a good target this year with probably getting most of the targets. Maybe Darnell Mooney's a sleeper though. We'll see. Yeah,
it's just I don't really believe in the red rocket. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh well, no, sorry. Yeah, Dalton. Yeah, well, I don't know. Listen, I don't know who actually here's a better question. Who do you believe in more, him or Foles?
I mean, Foles has the playoff like experience, but then Andy, he's been to Pro Bowls, he's into the playoff, he just hasn't been able to win. But it's been a while since he was that good. But I don't know, because last year him on the Cowboys, he did not impress me. He wasn't terrible, but he was like league average. I don't know. I guess Andy. I don't know.
Both, bro, I feel you. It's not a good time right now, man. It's not a good time.
Curtis, I wanted to ask you, we were mentioning about Jon Jones before, and I did see on your Twitter, you mentioned how Jon Jones would be like the Nate Robinson at heavyweight with that knockout. What do you think separates the heavyweight division from what Jon has experienced before?
Just like we're bigger human beings. We don't move as fast. Majority of the division doesn't move as fast as a light heavyweight, but we hit on average harder. Then you have the heavy hitters like Ngannou. Like I'm a heavyweight. I hit hard. I don't hit as hard as Ngannou or Mark Hunt or Derek apparently, because I hit him a lot more than he hit me. So But yeah, that's the difference. Like you can afford to move your head the wrong way once or twice at light heavyweight. You really can't do that at heavyweight. You zig when you should have zagged. It's lights out.
Yeah, that's for sure. I wanted to ask you, do you think that the heavyweight division, in terms of talent, may be more talented than the light heavyweight division?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think light heavyweight's got a lot of good names. Heavyweight, for the most part of these guys, a lot of them are older. I mean, I'm one of the younger guys, and I'm 30. Like, you look at light heavyweight, they've got my boy Reyes. They got the guy he's going against, Jerry Pazinska. Oh, can't pronounce his last name. Johnny Walker, he's a sleeper. There's a couple of guys. I think the light heavyweight division is a little deeper. We have the more recognized like names. Well, I don't know because it just released Junior and Alistair. So light heavyweight might have the same amount of like name power as heavyweight. Like, well, I don't know because John's a heavyweight now. So
Yeah.
I guess you got to factor that in. I think it's about the same.
Again, about Jon Jones, because he's recently been in the news saying that he thinks that 8 to 10 million is too low for him to fight Francis. Do you think he deserves that much?
Yeah, bro. He was the face, even with all the off out of the sport issues that he's had. As a pure athlete, that man's a GOAT. Like, he puts asses in the seats. Like, we're not gonna deny that. He fights Ngannou. How much is the UFC gonna earn for that fight? And then if you have fans at the gate, my God, and they can charge whatever they want. He deserves 15 million. He's gonna earn them a lot of money. Ngannou also, but he's half of that. Like, John versus Francis is a super fight, and you should get paid like appropriately.
No, I definitely agree. I think sometimes people forget like what John has done in the past and everything, and he was like the youngest champion.
Yeah. What was he, like 23?
Yeah.
Bro, I was an amateur at 23. I didn't even know how to do a proper uppercut. Like, that man was a champion. No, he deserves the money. I think another reason, I think you start paying the top guys what they're worth, then there's a trickle down effect. And you got guys at the bottom. I'm talking like entry level or rookies coming in, and instead of getting 10 and 10, let's up that to 28 and 28. That's reasonable. You want guys to be able to focus on training, and if you have to go to work, like a lot of guys do, they got kids that removes from your training, that removes from your recovery. Like right now, I don't have to work. I'm able to relax and recover. I get massages twice a week. I do all that, but that's because I'm at the upper echelon. I can afford that. There's lots of guys who need that, but they don't get to do it because they have to go to work. And I think if you start paying the big guys like that, it'll just be a natural, organic trickle down where everyone gets to get more.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just want to ask you, like, since your first few fights in the UFC, in your words, like, how has the game really grown? Like, the aspects. I know you're talking about the trickle down effect, like if they get like a really big payday, but just throughout your time and experience, what have you really noticed?
In what aspect? You mean like in the octagon or like?
Yeah, in the octagon, yeah.
Some of the bigger things is the way they score, the way they judge, the way judges are scoring these fights. It's all over the place. We see guys get robbed time and time again. And you're like, what were they watching? Like John versus my guy Reyes back in 20, what was that? 2020, 2019, 2020.
2019, yeah.
I thought he won. I was there in Houston. I thought he won. I thought he won handily rounds 1, 2, and 3. And yeah, he went into survival mode for rounds 4 and 5. And Jon walked him down and got the takedowns. But even with the takedowns, it wasn't a lot of ground and pound. There was a lot of control. So what they're saying is that his control was a bigger factor scoring wise than the strikes that was able to land in those early rounds. I don't understand. But then you look at other fights and they flip it. They'll say the strikes were more important than the control and aggressions. Or you never know what to expect. That's one of the biggest things. Me and my homies, we talk about that all the time. We're watching fights. Like it's scary to go to decision. Even if you know you won, the judges might not know you won. So that's really scary. And then I think a lot of guys are introducing calf kicks. That's become a bigger thing. Even I've started drilling them more. Attacking a guy's lead leg, get him to immobilize that leg, and then they're not as explosive. A lot of guys that have figured out that leads to knockouts. That's what Poirier did to McGregor. He landed all those kicks early on in round 1. McGregor got on the stool. The leg got swollen. He stood back up, and then he became stationary. And that's how Poirier was able to find him and land those big punches. I think a lot of guys are taking that, and that always happens. Like I remember early on in the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, heel hooks were all in vogue. But then everyone learned how to defend them, and everyone went away from it. Eventually, heel hooks will be back. It comes in revolutions. Like it all becomes old and then becomes new again.
Awesome. Well, just before we go, Curtis, we have some quick hitter questions for you. Just some like fun, quick questions for you. So this is mostly a music podcast, and our listeners would kill us literally if we didn't ask you, Curtis, what's in your playlist? Like, what are you playing? What are you playing in the gym? Like, what's in that music, man? What's in that playlist?
I like Young Dolph.
Okay.
I like Chance, but old Chance, not
old Chance. Okay, you worried for a second, honestly.
I guess it's all old Chance.
Yeah, old Chance. Yeah.
Lil Baby.
Nice.
Lil Baby.
Okay.
Yeah, both the babies.
Yeah.
That's really it right now. Like a lot of the other guys play their music in the gym, and I just like you kind of forget what you're listening to. It's really the beat that you like. You can't really focus on the words like when you're hitting a bag or drilling or whatever. It's harder to remember the words. But the beats, though, it's a lot of hip hop in the gym.
Okay, nice. I appreciate it. That's a really good list, man. Our listeners are really happy with that. But this question here is a staple question that we ask here at the No Good Podcast for all of our illustrious guests. So we got to ask you as well, too. What is something that everybody loves, but you don't? What's no good to you?
There's a lot of things. Chocolate. Don't like it.
Okay, nice.
No chocolate at all.
No chocolate ice cream. No chocolate anything. I don't like.
Nothing, yeah?
Well, no, I take it back. The only chocolate I'll eat is Snickers. But that's a rarity. Like every blue moon I'm in the mood to eat a Snickers, but that's like rare. So yeah, chocolate. Ice cream also. I don't have a sweet tooth really. Really all the sweets. Like even with donuts. I only like glazed donuts. So I don't like sprinkles.
Oh, so that's a secret to your cardio then. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a sweet tooth, bro. No.
Yeah, but what would you have as your munchies then when you get the munchies?
I like meat. I like because Chicago. I get high. I go get Harold's. I go get Illuminati's or Beggars. I get something hearty. I like that. I don't really like little snacks. I guess the bag of potato chips, Ruffles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, just before we go, Curtis, can you let us know what's happening next or what's going on next and where our listeners can put the support behind you?
Well, the support, y'all can give that to my Instagram. Razor Blaydes 265. That's also my Twitter handle, Razor Blaydes 265. And in terms of the future, I've told the UFC I would like to return any time after August. I want time to properly heal up before I get back out there. Don't want to get a glass jaw, as they say.
Yeah, I can respect that so much. Curtis Blaydes, thank you for taking so much time out of your super busy schedule to come sit with us today at the No Good Podcast. We really do appreciate it.
No worries. I appreciate you guys having me on, and it was I had a good time.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Until next time, it's the boys from the No Good Podcast. We'll see you soon.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Lingo Sports and Lingo News for a whole lot more just like this.